I think obviously when you think about the Oilers, you go right to their top two players, but they're a team here now, especially they haven't gotten the results, so they're a hungry team coming in. We just have to be ready and focused. And we got a large sample, of this team last season, and we saw I think both ends of the spectrum on it in terms of success playing against them, but also times when we struggled. So. We just got to be really focused on the details of our game defensively. Got to be really good on special teams, stay out of the penalty box as best we can, and that gives ourselves an opportunity to compete in the game.
This will be quite a challenge for Timothy. What makes you feel that he's up for it?
Oh, he's played well. He's played well, and he moves well. He defends well. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we like the balance that we have. Within the pairs. I think that's important here, especially being on the road. I think that Riley and Brody are going to take on a lot as well. But even having Hall down on the third pair, it really gives us confidence. Uh, with he and Dermott there, that no matter who we have on the ice, they can do a job. It's similar with our forward lines. We feel good no matter who we have out there, and that's really what you want in your team. So it's a good opportunity for Liljegren for sure, and he will have some tough minutes today at times. But really, our entire team just got to be prepared for playing against elite players.
What's allowed him to take that next step, Sheldon? Timothy, you were saying in camp that if you were here, what kind of do something more or less. What's allowed him to
Yeah.
take that next step and be effective for you?
Well, I think a huge part of it has been opportunity. That's a big one. We made a decision as an organization that we were going to give him a great opportunity for starting from day one in training camp, one that he really hasn't had. And if you looked at it, from the time I was hired, it's mid-season. It's a lot harder to really get it going. He played some games then, but then, you're going into the bubble and you play against Columbus, and there's not a lot of opportunity available there. And then last season, there's no exhibition games played. So this season, we just felt that we needed to really give him a good go right from the start, which is why we paired him with Muzzin early on and tried to play him in as many preseason games as we could and play him in a lot of situations. And Dean Chanel just really believed in him, reviewing his video coming into the season. He's a guy that he really wanted to see play in these types of situations. And with everything we've given him, he's done a good job with it. So, he's just continuing to evolve that way. But as we've talked about, we've got good competition going with our defense. We've got some injuries here now, and we're still waiting on Sandin to bounce back and get up and running. I think we were waiting for that switch with Sandy here. That he up until Sunday he was still on crutches, but he's moving on to the kind of the next phase and starting to skate again here now. Is what we expected, is that it would turn quickly once he was able to be weight bearing, and it has. So that's going to provide more competition once again. But with those guys being out, Liljegren has done a good job, of just when he gets put on the ice, of being consistent. And sometimes when you're trying for consistency, it doesn't go the way you want it to. But your ability to bounce back is really important, and I think that's what he's done very well. He hasn't allowed things to snowball when it's gone poorly.
Is Dermott playing tonight?
Yeah, that's the plan. He feels good coming out of yesterday's practice. So he's going to obviously get through today, like we do with all of our injured players coming back from injury. You try to, really you leave it to them to make the final call, just to be certain that they're feeling good. But everything is trending in that direction.
What about your fourth line?
McKay, very similar. Again, expected to play tonight. He's feeling good coming out of yesterday, but same thing. We'll leave it to him to make the final call up until puck drop.
Sheldon, we ask the coaches all the time, what's easier, is to go against McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line, or have them both center seat another pair against Draisaitl?
Yeah, I don't think there's an easy answer to that, because I think you can see both sides of it in each scenario. When they're together, obviously they're that much more dangerous, that much more dynamic, that much more of ability to capitalize on a mistake that you may make. And then when they're separate, as you say, it's they're making players around them better on two different lines, and that presents its challenges. So, playing against them last season, we saw a little bit of everything, and I suspect today in the game we'll probably see a little bit of everything as well. They move things around quite a bit, so we're just going to have to be alert when they're out there, and look, really most importantly, try to establish our game as much as we can. And we have elite players on our side as well, so that gives us confidence that no matter who we put over the boards and what our situation is, that we can go out to win that shift.
Is that going to be your fourth line tonight? Is what we saw yesterday in practice?
Yeah, no, Senny's going to play at center on the fourth line tonight. It just really came down to the fact that Steve's he's played quite well for us, and we're really happy with him. That line scored a big goal for us the other night, but it really just came down to the fact that I want to move Engvall up onto the third line there, and thus we need somebody with some center experience. And Senny's had that, played center in pro hockey before. Steve's doesn't have that, so that's really where he got the edge on that.
The style that you want to play against McDavid, Draisaitl, kind of that tight, not giving them a lot. It's a lot easier as a group to play that style when you're working with a lead, as opposed to maybe trying to play that style while you're chasing a game.
Yeah, of course. For sure it is. When you have a lead, of course, you're not looking to force the offense. You don't feel any sense of urgency necessarily. You can be a little more patient and wait for some mistakes for offense to come. And really, that's the approach we have to take, even if we're down or whatever the situation is. Early in the game, we can't panic and open up and things like that. That's a big part of what they're looking for. But like I said, we played this team enough last season that our guys know what we need them to do. But also that we need to continue to focus on our game. We've got good players as well, and they've got some things to be concerned about with our team too.
And since we talked to you yesterday, there's just been a whole pile more COVID situations popping up around the league. I wonder, as a group, is there a conversation that's had with the team? Is there a rebuckling down? Not that you were loose at all before, but do you sort of pay attention to that? Is there anything you do as a result of that?
Nothing in this case, but we've had that conversation already earlier this season. When some teams were really getting hit with it, obviously we went out and played the Islanders at a time when they were starting to get affected by it. And we've had these discussions right after the Islanders. We went out to California and we talked to our team about you're on the road. It's a great place to be and all of that, but we got to be mindful of where we're going and who we're going with and all that. So I think our players have done a good job of that, as I'm sure the other teams have. As we know, this virus is a vicious thing and tough to contain and control. But we haven't felt the need to address anything specifically right now because we do feel like we've addressed it throughout the season, and I think our guys have done a good job of it. We just have to remain diligent.
Sheldon, players don't tend to want to go back a year for us, but maybe as a coach you will. You guys came in here a year ago and beat the Oilers 3 in a row and played almost perfect hockey for 180 minutes. As a coaching staff, is there some film there you can use? Is there some evidence there that you would bring up to your players a year later?
I think there's some things inside of those games that we were able to use some of those clips. There's also things, frankly, on the other side of it too, where some areas even inside those games where we felt pretty good about that. Through the course of playing them last season, there's areas that we struggled in, and we've talked about that as well. So it's both sides of it. So yeah, we talk about it, but really we try to stay current, both in with what's happening with our team and what's happening with the Oilers. So we can't be living in the past too much, but certainly that that sample of the season there that you're referring to last season, we felt that way about a lot of our games through November. And that was the closest we think we felt to that, and we've slipped in that regard here as the calendar's turned to December in the last little while, and as some of the losses we've had to injuries in the schedule and things like that, and take a guy like Mitch Marner out of our lineup, and we've got to get that back. So that's really what we're focused on here today, and what I think our guys know that we've played well and have a sense of what the recipe is, but you're one mistake or one bad shift away from that turning pretty quickly. So we just got to remain on top of it.
So what areas Mitch missed the most?
I mean, there's not. I don't know if there's one particular area necessarily. He's a guy of anybody on our team on forward. I think he's the guy that does it all for us. You know, both sides of the special teams, power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, key defensive situations, playmaking ability, energy, you know, positivity on the bench and in the room. Yeah, he's you know, it's a big loss for us, and we've been in a lot of sorts, I think, since losing him. But you know, a guy like Kasia stepping up here now and has played well. Now our team is sort of adjusting, you know, to life without Mitch. But it's been a difficult transition for sure of all the players to take out of our lineup because he does so much for our team. It's been an adjustment in all areas of the game.
Hyman's not playing tonight, so will you miss seeing him out there?
No, we got other guys out there that we got other guys out there that we're gonna worry about, and they're gonna have other people in Hyman's stead that'll be playing alongside their elite players, and those guys have the ability to make everybody they play with better. So we just got to focus on that.